right? And John, who was here for the 8:30 class, has so graciously agreed to be our hostmaster and ring us in for 9:45 as well. Thank you, John. All right. You can't go anywhere now with that bell, right? You have to stay in the building. They're going to have you ringing in all the classes. You'll be like the officiator. Yeah. All right. So welcome. I'm having like deja vu. It's kind of weird. Okay, so just make sure you all can bring your arms out to the sides and not have like interference with some other folks near you. All right. And we're going to start this morning with a little bit of breathing. So if you want to come right up to the front edge of your chair, have your feet underneath your knees. Good. And then relax your shoulders. So if they're way up here, relax your shoulders down. Relax your neck and your head. So you might just move your head a little bit. Just kind of see what's going on there. And then see if you can get your head in a position where your ears are kind of in line with your shoulders. So in other words, not kind of sitting forward like that and not kind of pulling things back too much. Your head is just kind of resting on top of your shoulders there. And then if it's comfortable to close your eyes, you can go ahead and do that. And we'll just start to notice the breath. So notice the way air is moving in and out. Notice if you're able to breathe in and out through your nose. If you're having some difficulty breathing in and out through your nose, you can breathe in through your nose and then blow out through pursed lips. So if you've got asthma or a COPD or some other breathing issue, you can always use your mouth to kind of help you blow out. So as you inhale, see if you can take breath as deep into your body as you can. And as you exhale, you're letting the breath out again as completely as you can. We often get into sort of this unconscious way of breathing, usually a little bit lighter, a little bit less. So we're just seeing what's available. Can I breathe in more than I think I can? Can I breathe in a little more than I normally do? Can I breathe out a little more than I normally do? And take one more nice full deep breath in. I'm going to have you hold that breath in. And keep holding. And then you can slowly let the breath out with a sigh. You can let your eyes open. So we're going to start with a little bit of movement for the hands and fingers this morning. So just taking your hands off your lap, closing and extending your fingers. Notice how everything's working this morning. Are they all working well, or are some working better than others, right? Is there a little discomfort in some of the fingers? Okay, so we're breathing in and breathing out, and we're just going to extend the fingers like starfish. So we're just creating starfish hands. So thumbs and little fingers are as far away from each other as they can be. You're spreading those fingers nice and wide. And then we're going to go from the starfish into a bear claw. So it's just kind of like a little claw. And then we're going to go into a fist, right? So that's the whole movement. So breathing into the starfish, the bear claw, and the fist. Starfish, bear claw, fist. Keep breathing. Starfish, bear claw, fist. Relax your shoulders. Starfish, bear claw, fist. Nice. So we're just going from one to the next. And notice what's happening in your hands, but also in your arms, right? Okay, and the next time you're into a fist, we're just going to hold into that fist. Keep breathing. And we're going to reverse. So we're just going to go from the fist to the bear claw to the starfish. From the fist to the bear claw to the starfish. Fist, bear claw, starfish. Keep breathing. Good. Keep going. If you get it confused, that's okay. Just keep on going. Good. One more time. Fist, bear claw. Starfish, hold your starfish. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. We're going to take the thumbs and see if you can touch the base of the first fingers. So just to that first finger, right? So if you're way over here already, go back to the first finger. And you might even look at your hand, right? Can you get your thumb to the base of your first finger? So you're touching and releasing, touching and releasing. Good. And now can you get your thumb to the base of your second finger, right? So the second finger. So the tendency is usually to overshoot. So see if you can do this without overshooting. And keep breathing. And then go to the base of your third finger. Good. And keep breathing. This might be getting a little bit harder, right? Because we're stretching the thumbs a little bit more. And then go to the base of your pinky finger. So your baby finger. So it's right to the base. Still on your hand. Yeah. And then go to the third and to the second and to the first. And we'll go down the line again. Keep breathing to the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the third, to the second, to the first. Whew, and shake that all out. Good. Let's take the hands, interlace the fingers, press the palms away. So we're stretching through the hands a little bit, stretching through the fingers a little bit. Good. So let's do a little more of a stretch here. So release that. Let's take the right hand out, hand lower than the shoulder. And we're just going to pull back on all of your fingers. So make sure you get that baby in there too. Make sure the little guy gets a chance here. We're just pulling back. Now, if with your elbow straight, you're going to feel more of a stretch up in through the arm and maybe up above the elbow a little bit. If you bend your elbow a little bit, you're going to feel it more into the wrist and into the hand. So depending on where you feel the most sensation, that's the position you want to have your hand in. So like for me, let's say I'm having more issue with my hand. It's a little tight. My wrist is a little bit tight. I'm going to keep my elbow bent and feel that stretch. If, on the other hand, I'm feeling it up here, if I got a little tennis elbow or I've got a little overuse here in the elbow area, when I straighten that elbow, I can feel that up into the arm. And keep breathing. Good. And then you can release that, just give it a little shake, and we'll go to the other side. So extend the left arm, hand is lower than the shoulder. We're going to pull back on all the fingers, right? So make sure you get all the fingers in there. Keep breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. It's kind of a requirement. I think this is a yoga class. I have to say this every 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll remind you. Keep breathing. If you give the elbow a little bit of a bend, you'll feel it more into the wrist, into the hand. If you give the elbow a little straight, you're going to feel it more up into the arm. So again, notice on this side, does it feel different? Do I feel like I get more sensation when I have my elbow bent? Do I feel like I get more sensation when I have my elbow straight? Can I breathe smoothly and evenly? And then we're going to release that, give that a little shake out, and then we'll bring the right hand forward, bring the fingers down, and you're going to press on the back of your hand, not on your fingers, but on the back of your hand. And you're just going to press that in a little bit. Now be gentle here, because this can be kind of tender for folks. With your elbow straight, you're going to feel it up into this part of the arm. Again, this is like tennis elbow is out here. So if you have like a little overuse, if you can't open the jar, right, and you get pain here, this is the stretch you want to do for that. So with the elbow bent a little bit more, we'll feel it in through the wrist and the forearm a little bit more. Keep breathing. Good. Okay. And then switch, go to the other hand. So we're just pushing on the back of the hand here a little bit. Relax your shoulders. So if your shoulder's way up here, see if you can relax your shoulder down. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Excellent. So elbow straight gives you one kind of sensation of stretch. Elbow bent gives you a little different sensation of stretch. Great. And release that. Let's shake out the hands a little bit. Let's circle at the wrists. Good way to wake up the hands and fingers and reverse direction. Okay, so we're going to move right up to the elbows. So bring your arms down by your sides, and we're just going to bend and tap the shoulders and release. So just bending and tapping. We're just waking up all the joints here this morning. That's all we're doing, getting the joints going. It's a cold morning, although it's not as cold, is it, as it was? So that's good. You guys missed the big event at the 8:30 class. The ice was coming off the roof. It sounded so amazing because it's a metal roof up there, right? So it was sliding off and coming down. It was really cool. Okay, next time you have your hands on your shoulders, we're going to bring the elbows out to the sides. So keep your shoulders low, but keep your elbows high. And we're going to extend and bend. So same thing, right? So bending and extending. So we just have the arms in a little different position. It creates a different stress in the body, right? Which is not a bad thing. So keep those elbows lifted now. Don't keep them down by your sides. You want to keep them lifted. This should be a little bit hard, right? Next time your hands are in, we're going to pause here and we're going to go up overhead. And did I mention breathing? We have to keep breathing. So we're going to go up, and then when we come down, we're going to pull the elbows way down behind. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze behind you, right? And then come up. Now, if you can't get your arms up overhead, that's okay. You're just going to go up as high as you can. And if you have one arm that gets like maybe to here, don't limit the other arm, right? So if you have one arm that only gets to here, get that other arm up as high as it'll go, right? Good. So we're just breathing in and breathing out. That looks really good. Stretch, stretch. Excellent. And the next time we have our hands on the shoulders, we're going to pause here, right? So we're going to do all three of those movements. We're going to combine all three of those movements. So we're going to extend down and bend, and then lift the elbows out to the sides and bend and up overhead and down, elbows down, extend out to the sides, extend up overhead, come all the way down with the elbows, extend down, sides, up, and breathe, and down, sides, up, and breathe. Good. Yeah, right? It's starting to get a little harder. Good. That's okay. Keep breathing. Doesn't matter. Just one more all the way around. Out, and we're going to go up overhead, down, and we're going to bring the arms down by the sides. Good. Now take your hands down by your sides. You're going to use your thumbs sort of as your rudder, and you're going to twist the arms all the way out to the sides, and then twist them all the way the other way. So we're going in one direction and the other. So we're coming right up into the shoulder now, right? So as you're doing this, when you come forward, so when your palms of your hands go out to the sides, I'm going to have you round your shoulders a little bit, right? So you're rounding your shoulders. And when the palms of your hands go the other way, you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Got that? So we're just kind of rounding the shoulders. Don't worry about your head and your neck, so don't strain your neck trying to do this. This is all about what's happening in the shoulders. Again, if you're working with a shoulder that is feeling a little wonky this morning, you don't have to do this rotation. Just do as much as you can, or as much as feels comfortable. Good. Couple more. Excellent job, you guys. And then come back and relax the arms. Great. Okay, so bring your hands to your shoulders one more time. And we're going to do a little bit of kayaking here. So let's just bring one elbow up and around. And we're just going to do this movement here. Good. You can even twist your body a little bit if that feels okay this morning. A little bit of movement in the rib cage, not a bad thing. Because your shoulder isn't just this thing here, by the way. Your shoulder is everything over here. It involves your rib cage a bit. Let's see if we can go backwards. So we're like kayaking backwards. Good, good, good. Okay, let's see if we can keep the right oar in the water. And let's kayak with the left forward. And then kayak with the left backwards. Good. And then let's keep that left oar in the water, and we're going to kayak with the right forward. And breathe. And kayak with the left, with the right backwards. Sorry, left oar is still in the water. Got that? So relax your arms. Take a moment so you can see your shoulders, your arms, your shoulders move in both directions, right? They go forwards, they go backwards. So let's make this kind of interesting. Let's have the hands on the shoulders. And we're going to take that right arm and we're going to kayak forward. And at the same time you're kayaking forward with the right arm, let's kayak backwards with the left arm. Oh. Now it's not this. If you do this, you're going in the same direction. You have to have one going in one direction, one going in the other direction. It should feel kind of weird. Yeah? And you might have stopped breathing. So take a breath or two. Good. Oh, and relax that. Whew. How was that? Super easy, right? Great. Let's take the left arm and go forward. Maybe this will be easier. So left arm's going forward. And how about the right arm going backwards at the same time that the left arm is going forwards? Gets confusing, right? Yeah. Unless you do this a lot, you don't have a really strong connection between your brain and this movement, right? So we're trying to create that connection. All right, how about one more time and then relax. Whew. Oh, let's just take a little break here. So kind of feel those shoulders. Maybe reach up, give the arms and shoulders a little squeeze, a little massage. All right. We'll do a little bit more here with the arms before we shift gears. So some of you know this already. We're going to come into like a little bit of a swan neck here with this right arm. So you're bending your elbow and you're trying to get the back of your wrist as close to your shoulder as you can. You're breathing in and breathing out, and we're just going to extend that arm like you're doing a strong arm, right? You're trying to keep somebody away from you. So your fingers come up toward the ceiling, and you're doing a little strong arm here. So that's the whole movement that we're doing here. So right into that swan neck, and then back out to the strong arm. Swan neck and strong arm. And you're breathing in and breathing out. So there's just this little gliding movement as we're doing this. Good. Looks great, everybody. Beautiful swans out there. Okay. One more time, out and in. Excellent, and we'll switch, going over to the left. So same thing. So we go from the swan to the strong arm, right? And you really want to pull your fingers or the palm of your hand close to your wrist when you come in, right? Breathe in, breathe out. Great. Everybody's doing all right? Yes. I'll take that as a yes. Okay, next time you come in, we're going to hold here. Just shake everything out a little bit. Let's make it a little more interesting. Let's do both. So we have the double swan. So we go out to the sides and then back in, right? So out to the sides and back in, and breathe out. That looks beautiful, you guys. Okay, next time your wrists are up close to your shoulders, we're going to take just a little pause, and we're going to hold the right where it is, but extend the left. And then switch, and switch. And we're going back and forth, right? So a little swan and a little extend. And can you go a little faster, right? So it's like when you bring one out, the other one comes back in, right? So can you go a little faster? Keep breathing. All right. Couple more breaths. Yeah, it gets confusing quick, right? Okay, shake everything out. All right. Let's do this. We're going to do one more exercise for the arm and shoulder, and then we're going to move down to the lower body. So I'm going to have you take your right arm out to the side, like the strong arm. Some of you know this already. So we're going to bring that arm up overhead, or as high overhead as it'll go. You're going to bend your elbow and bring the palm of your hand, with your thumb facing forward, you're going to bring the palm of your hand to your face. So not like that, like that. It should feel a little weird and a little hard, yeah? Come up, out, and down. Let's try it on the other side. Maybe it's easier on the other side. So take your arm out into a strong arm. Come up overhead like you're pushing up on the ceiling. And then bend your elbow, bring the palm of your hand to the side of your face. Good. Up, out, and down. Great. Let's try the right side again. Up, bend the elbow, palm of the hand to the side of your face. So your finger, your palm should be facing your face, not away from your face. Breathe in, breathe out. Come up, out, and down, and left side, same thing. Bend. Good. Oh, everybody, this looks so easy, right? You guys got this. All right, let's make the okay sign with the right hand. Okay, right? We're A-okay. So I want you to turn your hand over so that you're looking through your OK sign from the palm side of your hand, right? So not like that, but like that. Can you do that? Can you see through the OK side of your palm side of your hand? Okay, that's how we're going to do this. When you thought it was going to be that easy. It's not. We're going to take this little OK sign. We're going to come up overhead, right? So the palm of your hand is reaching away from you. Extend your fingers. And then we're going to bend the elbow. And you're going to get that OK sign up to your eye like that. Says you, right? Not like that, but like that. If you can't get your hand up or your fingers to your eye, just get your fingers to the chin. That's okay. And then release that. Easy. Not. Left side, not easy. You're right, it's not easy. Left side, right? So OK sign. So I want you to look. You're going to be looking through this part of the OK sign, not through that part. You're going to be looking through that part. So there's this twist in the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder, right? That's what we're really going after. The OK sign is just to distract you. So take your arm out to the side. Bring it up overhead. You're going to bend your elbow. See if you can bring the palm of your hand and your OK sign up to your eye. Right? Good. Are you breathing? Yeah? That's all that matters, really. And come up and all the way down. Let's try that one more time on each side. So right hand, OK sign. We're going to take that arm out to the side and up overhead. Bend your elbow. So see if you can get your fingers down onto your chin. And that's how I do it. You leverage the fingers on the chin and then right up. Good. And then you're sort of peering through your glass. Excellent. And then release that and all the way down. Great. Left side, one more time, coming up. Bend the elbow, same thing. Get your fingers here on your chin. Use the fingers as leverage and then get your eye in there. And if you've got glasses on, I'm sorry. They're going to be kind of fingerprinty. Yeah, they will be. And release all of that. Okay. Okay. So I lied. That wasn't the last one. We just have one more. But it's kind of the same, so it sort of counts. So let's do double OK. It's double OK, right? So we're going to come out to the sides with the double OK and up overhead. We're going to bend the elbows. See if you can bring both your OKs to your eyes. Ooh, that's awesome. You guys look so funny. And then let's release that. Okay, great. So shake that all out. So we just did a lot of complex movement for the hands, the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders. So we just got a lot of stuff moving there. So we're going to give the upper body a chance to rest a little bit. And we're going to move down to the lower body. Look down at your feet. If you've got your socks on, you might want to take them off so that you can have a good look at your toes. We're going to do some work with the toes. If you've got your towel, that's great, or you can just have your feet on your socks. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift all the toes up, spread them out nice and wide. And as you spread your toes out nice and wide, see if you can see some space there between the toes. Now what I like about wearing toe socks doing this is you have to work extra hard because the toe socks kind of they get in the way of your vision there, so you have to work a little extra hard. So from here, we're just going to play the piano. So we're going to put the baby toe down, and then the next toe, and the next toe, and the next toe, all the way up to the great toe. And then we're going to lift, starting with the great toe, and going all the way down to the baby toe. So let's do this with our hands and feet. So we're going to use the hands to kind of teach the feet. So have your hands on your lap, have your fingers all lifted, have your tripods on the floor. That's your heel, your big and little toe knuckles, and all your toes lifted. So the palms are on the lap, the feet are on the floor, but the toes and the fingers and thumbs are all lifted. And now what we're going to do is play the piano, put the baby toes and the little fingers down, and then one at a time, use your hands to kind of instruct your feet what to do. And then lifting with your thumbs and your big toe, and then go all the way out. So it's sometimes a little bit easier when we use the hands, because the hands know how to do this. We do this all the time with our hands. We're opening and closing our hands all the time. So we have this connection with the brain on how to do it. We don't have that same connection with our feet, generally, with our toes, because we don't do this kind of movement. The toes don't often operate as independently as the fingers do. So this can be quite helpful to do the fingers and the toes at the same time. And did I mention breathing? Yeah, I didn't mention that? Yeah, so this would be a good time to breathe. This would be a good time to breathe. Good. How about one more time all the way through? I don't know where you are on your piano playing here, but let's have all the toes down and all the fingers down. Whew, let's take a little bit of a break here, right? Okay. So we're going to take the right foot now, and we're going to do a little bit of a stretch. So there's 3 stretches we're going to do for the toes on the right foot. The first is the Barbie foot, so I'll come up so you can see. So I'm coming from a flat foot. I'm going to come up onto a Barbie foot, which means like I'm wearing a big high heel, right? Okay, so I'm on the Barbie foot, and I'm just going to press down a little bit into the toes of the right foot, so we're stretching that. And then from the Barbie foot, we're going to come up into point. So if anybody took dance as a child, or maybe you take dance now. So we're coming up into point, and then we're going to go over the top of the toes and just give the top of the toes a little bit of a stretch here. So those are the 3 movements, right? So we come into Barbie foot, and then up into point, and then over onto the top of the foot, and come back to the Barbie foot, the top of the toes, so point, and then top of the foot. So we'll do that just a couple more times, right? So some parts of this are going to feel a little less comfortable than others. Yeah? So for some of us, it might be the Barbie foot feels really hard, you know, because maybe we've got some tension or tightness in those toe joints. For some of us, it might be when we go up and over, right? Might be a little bit more. So let's try just kind of one more time. And you get to decide how much pressure you put, right? So you don't have to put a lot of pressure here to get a lot of impact. All right, let's take that foot down to the floor. Let's just kind of take a moment. Notice right foot, left foot. Notice if you can feel a difference there. And then we're going to go to the left foot. So coming up onto Barbie foot to start. Right, so just feel what that's like. Push down a little bit into the Barbie foot. For a lot of us, this particular stretch is one that can be very helpful for starting to strengthen your toes. And toe strength is hugely important for balance. And then we're going to come up into point, and then we're going to go over onto the top of the foot or onto the top of the toes. So yeah, if the floor is a little bit hard, you can get your shoe under there and give your foot a little bit of cushioning, right? So we're just going through that the 3 movements. It's very much like the starfish, the bear claw, and the fist that we do with the hand, right? So, but the starfish, bear claw, and fist, we're kind of used to that because, again, we have those movements that we go through, maybe not in that way, but we can go through those movements daily. We don't often do this, especially the point and then stretching the top of the foot we don't often do. Good. How about one more time all the way through, wherever you're at in it? Just kind of complete one more time, Barbie, point, and then stretch, and then come back. All right, excellent. So let's work a little bit with the ankles. If we extend the right leg, we're going to point and flex the foot. So we're feeling that in the ankle. The ankle joint is pretty cool. It doesn't just go forward and back like this. It has a lot of rotation to it. So let's circle around and breathe. Good, and then circle the other way. Good. And then let's bring that foot to the floor, and we'll go on the other side. So point and flex, point and flex. Ooh, lots of ankle music out there. Good, good. And then we'll circle around, circle around. Great, and reverse the direction. Excellent, and then we'll bring that foot to the floor. Okay, slide back into your chair so that your low back is being supported right here on the chair, right? And you can kind of lean back a little. Doesn't matter if your feet are touching the floor or not. For some people they're going to touch the floor. Some people won't touch the floor. That's okay. So we're just going to be working the knees now. So we're going to extend the right leg and bring your toenails toward your shin, and then bend and bring it down. That's it, right? So we're just extending and then slowly bending, right? So extending, pause at the top of the extension, and slowly down. When you pause, I want you to really focus here on these thigh muscles. Give them a good squeeze. It's kind of like you want those thigh muscles to hug the bone. So you have one big bone here in the upper part of your leg called your femur. It's a nice big bone. And your muscles go all the way around it. So it's like your muscles are trying to give that bone a little bit of a hug. Okay, one more time. And then relax that, and we're going to go the other side. So same thing, we're going to bring that leg up, squeeze, 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 and slowly lower down. And extend, squeeze, and slowly lower down, and breathe as you're doing this. So nice, easy breaths. We might feel a bit of fatigue here in the thighs, and that's okay, but your breathing should be kind of smooth. Try to relax your hands, your shoulders, your jaw. So sometimes we get other parts of the body kind of recruited to do this. How about one more time, all the way up and all the way down. Great. Okay. So we're just kind of working things out a little bit in the knees. Now we're going to do both at the same time. So extend both legs. Give the muscles here a nice squeeze so they're nice and tight, and then slowly lower down. Right? So that's going to be our movement. So if your back is feeling a little wonky, scoot back there so you've got some support. You can even hold on, especially if you have pants that slide on the chair. So we're going to extend and hold, and we're going to lower down to a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then extend and hold. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And extend and hold. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to extend, and now we're going to hold. So really engage these muscles here in the thighs. Nice, strong muscles here in the thighs. And as we hold those muscles in the thighs, we're just going to alternately point and flex the feet, right? So your legs aren't moving up and down. It's just at your ankles, because these muscles here in the thighs are nice and strong. And you're breathing. If I didn't mention that for the last 5 minutes, that's a good thing to be doing here, is breathing in and breathing out. Good. The next time you have one foot pointed and the other one reaching toward the shin, hold there. See if you can point a little bit harder through the toes. See if you can pull back a little more on the other toes. See if you can breathe while you're doing that, and maybe smile just a little bit. And then we'll switch sides. Okay, so now you're pointing, pointing, pointing as hard as you can through one foot, and you're pulling back as hard as you can through the other foot, and you're breathing. And you're saying, thank God this is going to be over, because I only have 2 legs. Good. Wowie. Okay, so both feet, toenails reaching toward your shins, so we're still holding, right? Those thighs are saying, what the heck? And then bend slowly and lower down. Good. Take a break. Take a breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, come forward on your chair. Give those thighs a little massage. If you use the heels of your hands, so right here, just kind of give a little press in there. That can feel really good. So your thigh muscles, your quadriceps muscles here in the front of your thighs, these are super important for knee health. So if they're nice and strong, your kneecap is going to work properly, and you're going to be able to walk. You're going to be able to get up and down, especially when you go to sit down on something, when you get to a point where you're like getting your knees at 90 degrees or more. And even more important than that is being able to go downstairs, right? So you need to have a certain range of movement in your knees, and you need to have the strength in your thighs to be able to go down the stairs without having to hold on to support yourself to go down there. Okay, scoot over to the right side of your chair just a little bit. And we're going to hold on to the left side of the chair with the left hand. We're going to keep the torso up nice and tall and pull your belly in just a little bit. So just enough that you're kind of supporting your back. Not that you're like pulling it in really strong, but just enough that you're supporting your back. We're going to be making some movement here with the legs to kind of warm up things with the hip. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lift the foot up maybe an inch off the floor, and then come out to the side and come down. Lift up, come forward, and back, right? So that's the whole movement that we're doing here. So nice and slow. You don't have to lift high. I'm going to ask you to try and do this without leaning to one side or the other, right? So if you're leaning into that left side, see if you can sit up tall. Your hand is here just to make sure you don't go sliding off the chair, right? So you're breathing in and breathing out. This should be a little challenging for the hip, A little challenging for the leg. Good. Everybody looks like they're doing okay. How about a couple more? Your leg can start to feel like it weighs about 150 pounds, right? Good. Okay, so now when we come back, go about halfway. Don't go all the way back. And then we're just going to move that leg in and out. So just a little rocking in and out. So this gets a little more movement in the hip joint. In your hip joint, by the way, if you take your hand to the outside of the top of your thigh, you should be able to feel some movement right there. That's the leg bone that comes into the pelvic bone, and it's moving in and out like this. So you're feeling that rotation right there. That's the joint. Okay, we doing all right? Excellent. Let's scoot over to the left. Now, I will say, we're going to do the same thing on this side, and I want you to notice, especially those of you who've maybe had a hip replacement, or if you've had an injury, or if you have arthritis or bursitis in your hip, you're going to notice a little bit of a difference, or you might notice a big difference from one side to the other. So just kind of manage that for yourself, especially if it's something that's causing you some pain when you do it, like in a bursitis situation or an arthritis situation. So hold on to your chair with the right hand. Again, belly is strong, right? So it's just enough engagement that it's supporting the spine, and we're just going to lift maybe an inch or so, go out to the side, and then place the foot down. And then lift and come back and place the foot down. That's it. That's the whole movement. So nothing complex in terms of our movement, but it can be kind of hard to do because it's requiring a bit from our bodies, right? It's requiring a bit of strength here from the leg. Good. And you're breathing in and breathing out. Okay. How about one more time, in and out. And then we're going to come back about halfway, just about halfway. Bring your hand to the outside of your hip, or outside of your leg, and we're just going in and out. So you can feel that rotation there as well. Good. Okay, couple more. Excellent. And then let's bring that body right back to the center. Okay, so bring your feet a little wider than your hips. Plant them nice and strong on the floor and angle your toes out slightly. Hands come to your thighs with your fingers facing in. And we're going to be leaning forward. We're going to be hinging forward from the hips, right? So not from the back. We're not coming forward in this way. We're going to keep the back as elongated as we can. And then come forward like you could bring your belly button down to the floor. And then come back up, right? So that's it. Keep the back nice and don't bring your head down. So keep your back nice and flat. You're kind of keeping your head up, right? So when you come forward, you're still looking forward a little bit. Good. That's the whole movement. So again, thinking about how our hips are oriented, right? We have the two leg bones on either side coming into the pelvic bones. When I come forward in this way, without rounding the back, without doing the work from the back, we're actually getting more movement in that joint. And we need movement in joints. Even joints that hurt, we need to have movement in the joints because joints don't have their own blood flow like through your muscles. You have to have movement to get blood flow and to get fluid in and out. Okay, how about one more time forward and back? Great. Okay, and then let's do this. Let's take the right leg and cross it over the left. So if you can, cross your knee on top of your knee. If this is creating a little too much pain or discomfort for you, you can cross at your ankle, but we're going to focus on doing this knee over knee. So from here, we're going to squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze your buttocks a little bit, and see if when you squeeze your inner thighs together, you can get the outside of your right foot closer to the outside of your left lower leg, right? And then relax, okay? So that's the movement we're going to do here. So squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze the gluteal muscles or the butt muscles a little bit, and see if you can bring the outside of your right foot to the outside of your left lower leg and release. Let's do that one more time. Good. If you're crossing at the ankle, you're squeezing your knees together. So just kind of there. Good. And then next time we do this, we're going to hold and we're going to breathe. Now, some folks may have the ability to take that foot and bring it a little closer, or maybe even to wrap it around the ankle a little bit. Feel free to do that if you have that available to you. I'm going to hang out here with my foot on the outside of my leg because that feels good this morning. And then take your left hand, bring it over to the outside of your right knee. Take your right hand to your chair. Sit up nice and tall. So we always want to lengthen before we twist. And then we're just going to twist out to the right a little bit. See if you can twist from your rib cage. So not just your head and your neck, but your whole rib cage. And see if you can push into your knee just a little bit more with your hand. Maybe get a little more of a stretch through the outside of that right leg. Breathe in, breathe out. And then unwind. Very good. Okay, let's see if we can help that leg off. We'll go to the other side. There we go. So we got this leg crossed. Same thing. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Again, paying attention to your body. So maybe on one side you could cross knee on top of knee. Maybe on this side or on the other side that didn't feel possible. So again, working with what you've got, we're going to squeeze the inner thighs and see if you can bring the outside of your left foot now to the outside of your right lower leg and release. So we'll squeeze and release. And one more time, squeezing and releasing just to get that sense in the body. Good. And now we're going to squeeze and we're going to hold and breathe. And again, maybe you've got the ability on this side to wrap the foot around. If you do, go ahead and do that. If you don't, keep it right where it is. So we're keeping the leg active. The foot is active as well. We're going to take the right hand to the outside of the left knee. And then the left hand just kind of slides back on the chair. Lengthen your spine before you twist. And then we're going to twist like you're twisting from the rib cage, right? So it's like you're twisting from the rib cage. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you can, give a little more of a press into the outside of that left knee. Take another breath. Good. And then unwind. Come all the way back. Let's unhook that leg. Bring it back down. Let's give the outsides of the legs a little massage here. Okay. So the next piece we're going to do here is we're getting more complex with our movement, right? So we started with some little toe movements, we got into some ankle movements, some knee movements, and now we're doing this sort of rotation, stretching of the hip, the knee, the ankle. And I like to warm us up a little bit and kind of get us to that position. So in order to do this next one, we're going to be crossing the ankle on top of the knee. But what I want you to do first is reach down on the right side and find that big ankle bone on the outside of your leg. You all find it's a big, sticky, outy bone down there. You all got that? Okay, so go right below that, and you'll feel like a little bit of a divot, right? So it's just a little bit of a divot there. Okay. So that's just so we know, so we're all talking the same anatomy. So now we're going to cross the right ankle on top of the knee, and we're going to keep that big bone, that big ankle bone, to the inside of the left knee. In other words, this would be the ankle bone on the outside of the knee, right? Because the ankle bone is sitting way out here. I want to have my legs so the ankle bone is on the inside. So it's that little divoty part that's resting on your leg right above your knee. Does that make sense? Okay. Now this might be way too challenging for some folks. This might be like, wow, that's really creating a lot of tension in my hip. If that's the case, bring that bone to the outside of your leg, because I want you to be able to sit up nice and tall as we do this, right? So if you can get it here, that's great. If you can't get your leg crossed in this fashion at all, you can always do this at the ankle as well. So we're just going to kind of hold here and breathe. Bring your toenails toward your shin. Yeah. So that creates more sensation in that leg, right? Yeah. So keep breathing. So if you're feeling like, oh, hey, this is enough. I'm really feeling like a lot going on. It might be your hip, might be into the groin, might be into the leg, the knee, could be down into the ankle. If you're fine here, I'm going to have you stay there. If you would like to feel a little bit more, you're just going to come forward like you're trying to bring your belly button onto your leg, right? So it's a slight shift forward and then back off a little bit, right? So it's not a bending forward. It's a slight shift forward. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what I mean. So this would be a bending forward. What I'm trying to do here is shift from the pelvis. I'm trying to shift everything forward a little bit. Can you see that difference? So this is what I want you to do, as opposed to this. Should be a lot more sensation in the hip or the leg when you do it the way that, when you kind of shift forward. Okay, so when you get to a place where you feel that, I'm going to have you stay there. And the place you're at should be a little uncomfortable. Shouldn't be painful. So there's a difference, and we sometimes get this confused. I think we confuse this a lot, where, and it's not something that we're conscious of, but our pain system is tuned so highly that anytime we feel something that's uncomfortable, we immediately go into, this is painful, I have to stop. But is it really? Can I be here in a place that's a little uncomfortable and breathe into it and notice if something shifts? Because discomfort is, I like to think of discomfort as the edge of growth. So when I get to that edge where discomfort is, there's growth beyond that. If I push past that, I've missed that opportunity. If I stay inside of it in Comfyville, I never have any reason to shift or to change. So if this is starting to feel easy where you're at, you can try coming forward a little bit more, because maybe something has shifted a bit as you're holding here and you're breathing. If it's too much, you can back off. You can take a break and uncross your legs. That's the other nice thing here, is you're in charge, right? I'm just making some suggestions up here. You guys get to decide what you want to do. So take one more breath in and out wherever you're at. And then kind of come back a little bit and lean back slightly. And as you lean back slightly, why don't we give that leg a little assist? Bring it off. Yeah. And then let's just give a little massage wherever you were feeling it. So maybe you're feeling it in the outside of the hip. Maybe you're feeling it here in the groin, or maybe you're feeling it down into the leg or into the knee. So wherever you're feeling it, give it a little massage there. Okay. So let's go to the other side. So we're going to take let's go down and check out and make sure we have an ankle bone on this side too. So go all the way down. Right, you feel that big sticky outy bone there? All right, go below that. That's the little divot. Okay, so that's your landmark. Come back up. We're going to cross over onto the right now and see if you can keep that big sticky outy bone on the inside of your right knee. So this is the inside. Yeah, so if it's too much, if it feels like, whoa, this is way too much torque on my hip, you can bring the sticky outy bone to the outside, right? But we're going to go there. That is the official name, the sticky outy bone. All right, so we're going to just kind of hang out here, right, and see what we feel. Bring the toes toward the shin. What's happening there, right? Does that change something? So when I activate my foot, does that change something in what I'm feeling? When my foot is inactive, what happens then, right? I know for me, it definitely makes a difference. So where am I feeling it on this side? Is it more in my hip on this side? Is it more in my knee on this side? Chances are it's not the exact same feeling as on the other side. Okay, so if this feels like enough, if you're on that edge of growth, right, that place where it's uncomfortable, stay where you are. If you need to push a little farther into that place, come forward like you're just trying to bring your belly button toward your shin a little bit more. Again, I'll show you on this side. So it's not a bending forward, right? Because the movement here is from my spine. It's more of a shift forward with my pelvis, right? So my pelvis is actually coming forward a little bit more. That's different. Because your hip, well, your hip is kind of like your shoulder. Someone will come in to my practice and say, oh, I have hip pain. Okay, you need to point to it because there's a whole lot of hip going on. I don't know where you mean, because some people will point to their back. Oh, it's back here in my hip. Some people will point here in the front. Some people will point to the side. So we just kind of got to know where that is. So if as you're holding here and you're breathing, did I mention breathing? Not for the last 3 minutes, I didn't. So keep breathing or start breathing. And if this feels kind of okay and comfortable, can you push a little more into that edge of discomfort? Right? Discomfort is where the magic happens. If we didn't have discomfort, we'd still be swimming around. Just got a little uncomfortable in there, so we had to get out. And the interesting thing is, we always have the opportunity to change something just by sitting in the discomfort a little bit and noticing what that's like. Okay. And then slowly come back up. Ooh-wee. All right, let's see if we can help this leg off. Ooh, and give that a little massage. So find out where on this side you felt it, right? So is it out on the hip? Could be in the back, could be in the glutes, could be here in the groin or down into the knee. So there's lots of different places it could be. Great. Okay. So take a moment, just feel your feet. Notice what they feel like. Notice your legs, your hips, your knees. And then we're going to take the right arm now and cross it over the body to the left. We're just going to do a couple little stretches here. So with the arm across the body, just kind of going back to that upper body a little bit. Let's take that arm around to the back. We're going to hold on to the hand and pull it over to the right. Nope. We're going to pull it to the left. That's what it is. So we're pulling it to the left. And we're breathing in and breathing out. And release that, and then let's take the left arm over to the right. I used to know my right and left really well. It's hard being somebody who instructs in the opposite. So when I'm saying right, I'm really doing my left. So my poor husband, he always has to ask me if I say, it's over there on the right, and he'll say, is that a yoga teacher right, or is that regular person right? And then we'll go around to the back. And sometimes I have to think about it because I'm not sure. All right, and then we'll release that. Okay, so if you want to take a moment and maybe put your socks on, we're just going to sit for a moment and go back to a little breathing. I know that floor can get a little bit cold. And then you can make yourself comfortable. So that might be sitting up on the front of your chair. It might be sitting into the back of your chair. So once you get yourself kind of settled in however you want to be, if you can close your eyes, then I'll know that we're all ready. So when I look out and I see all the eyes closed, then I know we're ready to go. So bringing your attention back to your breath. Just notice the way air is moving in and out of your body. If you're having difficulty breathing through your nose, or if you tend to breathe through your mouth sort of as habit, take your tongue and place it up on the roof of your mouth and press in a little bit, especially toward the back of the roof of your mouth. And that'll force the air to move in and out through your nose a little more easily. And as you're breathing, just notice all the parts that we worked on today, all the places we woke up, the fingers and the toes, and the hands and feet, wrists and ankles. Notice your arms, your forearms, your elbows, your upper arms. And notice your legs, your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, your hips, your thighs. Ooh, we did a lot of work on those thighs. And notice your shoulders and your hips, your neck, your jaw. So just sort of noticing all the parts. And as we move through our day, we generally can do what's required, what we need to do, but we don't often have all of the parts contributing in the way that they could be. So sometimes to make tasks a little easier, it involves recruiting movement or flexibility or strength in certain parts of the body that we don't often have. So as you move throughout your day today, just see if you can notice if certain things feel a little easier to do if you're mindful about how you're moving. And then deepening your breath, drawing your breath into the deepest part of your body that you can, and then exhaling as completely as you can. Take one more full deep breath in, and I'm going to ask you to hold that breath and keep holding. And then open your mouth and let it out with a sigh. And let your eyes open. Thank you all for being here this morning. Yeah. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. All right, you're welcome. Oh, and if you don't mind putting the chairs, kind of stacking them off to the side, that would be great, because Zumba is next.